Greetings, Regional Modernism students. I hope this finds you well and on the brink of celebrating Thanksgiving. I wish each and every one of you a restful and blessed Thanksgiving with family and friends. I thought I would address you briefly regarding your final paper. Um, your paper proposal is just a way for you to plan out the rest of your week so that you'll be able to produce the final paper. 250, 500 words. It just gives me an idea of the direction you're going, and it forces you to begin thinking about the paper so you're not working on it the final week. And the final week I give you to focus exclusively on your papers, but I don't want you to wait until then. So the proposal doesn't have to be formal, but the proposal is a way for you to begin to think seriously about the paper. And the paper assignment is to focus on an American artist within the context of one or more of the themes or questions or issues that we've discussed so far in this class, or that have emerged in your mind regarding this this complex relationship between the internationalism of modernity and the locality of the regional, and how we negotiate, how each and every one of us negotiate this, but also how artists have baked it in, incorporated it into the means by which they create their work. The American artist, it can be a painter, sculptor, architect. It can focus on artists that we have discussed or will discuss. It's up to you. And within that context of my saying it's up to you, there is something. I think for many of you, you experience a certain sense of intimidation with regard to the paper because it is so open-ended. And I want to emphasize the fact that the way that I think about graduate education in general and graduate education in particular, and how I understand what I'm offering you, is that this is for you. It's not for me. You're not writing to satisfy an assignment. You're writing to answer questions or to pursue questions, raise more questions that you have. I can assign all kinds of busy work for you, all kinds of levers and buttons for you to push, and we can think that we have education taking place. But my view is that education takes place when you are confronted with taking seriously the fact that these questions matter to you, and that the questions that are lurking about in the back of your mind regarding art or regarding interpretation, regarding all a host of other questions and problems and issues that emerge in the course of your study of art and your reading and thinking, those are precisely the questions and issues I want you to deal with. But I don't know them. I don't know what you're thinking about. I don't know where you've come from. I don't know what you need this class or this program for. So my role is to facilitate. Each and every one of you are taking this class and participating in this program for your own particular reasons. And I admire and respect each and every one of you and your reasons for doing it. But your reasons are not each other's, and I don't know them. All I can do is point the way. All I can do each week is to present resources for you, to take the 25 years that I've been involved in doing this, and share with you some of my experience, and point ways, give you different directions for you to go. Each and every one of you have asked me certain questions, and I've given you your own advice and and pointing into a different direction. So in many ways, you're all going in different directions, but you're all coming from different places. And all I want to do is provide the resources for you. I'm facilitating this program, this class, this program is for you. Each week is an opportunity for you to pursue in more depth what you are interested in. And I want to provide as much space and fan the flame for you to be able to pursue that. So the term paper is really an assessment. It's a summa. It's what is it that you will take away from this class? What's the artifact that you will take away from this class that is evidence of the work that you've done, the thinking that you've done, so that you can look back 8 weeks ago and say, I think differently about this or that, or I'm thinking about this in ways that I've never thought about before. That you've somehow advanced in whatever kind of progress you want to make. That's my goal, and I want the paper to come out of that. I want that paper to come out of that search. Which is why I want you to do research, I want you to footnote it, I want you to do all of those sorts of things, but I'm not uptight about what manual of style for you to use or those sorts of things. For those of you who may, and probably most of you will not, you won't have a career as a scholar. You won't be worrying about the footnotes, right, and what manual of style you need to use to submit to juried articles. You just won't. You're using this course and this program for other purposes. If you're sitting around, I want you to have that paper. The paper is for you. It's not for me. If you're sitting around with your friends and they say, what'd you learn in this class? You can take out the paper and say, this is what I learned. And that's what you save. Now, I'm hoping that what you bring with you are all these PDFs and articles and building a library, all of this that you bring along with you as part of the resources, the archive that you are using, from which you will be able to continue to do more research. And maybe you didn't read all the readings that I've offered for you. Notice I said offered and provided, not assigned. But maybe you will when you're working on your thesis. Maybe you will in your next paper. My hope is that every course I teach worms its way into every other course you take, so that the questions that are percolating here in the courses that we have together will find their ways into other courses and help you do that work there. And I'm hoping that the questions that emerge in other courses or with other faculty are those that you bring to this class. But all that is predicated on the fact that you make the decision about how you want to pursue this. In my doctoral exams, my dissertation advisor said, come up with your questions. Come up with a half a dozen questions, and I'll pick 4 or 5 of them. And those will be the questions that you'll be answering on your comprehensive exams. So I not only answered the questions, I wrote the questions. And for any of you who are teachers, which many of you are, you know that preparing exams is a means by which you learn. And so on one hand, it's wonderful. You know what you're going to get going in. The challenge is that you have to decide what it is that you care about. What are the questions that you are going to ask that you then are going to answer? So I hope these thoughts are helpful to you. And it's how I think. It's how I think about grading for my undergraduate students and for graduate students. Grades don't mean anything to me. Students who get A's or students that get B's, it doesn't give any indication in terms of whether a fire's been lit. And you know that are teachers too. Many of the students that are the grinders and get the grades are not really the smartest kids. are the ones that have really connected with the material. They've memorized it. They've done all the reading. They've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, but they haven't gotten that thing. And that's what I'm chasing. And I'm not really interested in education. What I'm interested in is conversion. I'm interested in you shifting your mind, shifting your thinking, transforming in some way so that you could say, I thought differently about the world before I took this class, and now something's changed. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. So I hope these thoughts are helpful to you. Happy Thanksgiving. I wish you tremendous peace. We have so much to be thankful for, even amid such injustice and suffering and fear. The fires in California, the very dangerous political situation that we're negotiating and navigating. Amidst all of that, there is so much for us to be thankful for. So I hope that you have a chance to be able to do that, and I wish you a tremendous, tremendous break, and I look forward to responding to you, giving you feedback that you so richly deserve from your writings, and I'll write for our next week. Look for that on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.